Hi everyone. I wanted to take a minute today to talk through some changes to the way that I think the macroeconomic climate should make you think about testing and SEO testing in particular. I'm calling it testing fast in turbulent times. Three big things that I think everyone needs to know in this kind of market. One is that testing doesn't have to mean waiting. The second is that your CFO is going to be seeking efficiency. And the third is that loss aversion is more important than ever. I'm going to dig into each one of these and talk a little bit more about what I mean. Firstly, testing doesn't have to mean waiting. I think everyone is looking for fast results right now, and there can be a misconception that testing slows you down, when in fact I think actually it can often speed you up, because with the guardrails in place, with the safety net there, you can just go fast and press forward with the things that really work. And one of the mental models that I like to use for this is that we kind of have a dial when we're talking about testing that we can shift between whether we want to be more certain about the results or whether we want to go faster. And we're going to position that dial differently depending on our risk appetite, what's going on in our business, in our industry, and around the broader economy. And we talk a lot about SearchPilot, about how we're doing business, not science. And that means that we don't always want to wait for statistical significance on every single test. And maybe you're going to shift that dial around a little bit right now. So previously you had it tilted over to certain. Maybe now's the time you're going to move back towards fast. And this is what that means in practice. So when we're looking at a normal, what we call default to deploy mindset, we're going to say that there are some tests that we definitely do want to run to some kind of statistical significance. For example, if it's a weak hypothesis and a very expensive change, then maybe we're going to want to require quite a high confidence in the uplift, and that uplift is big enough to justify building, maintaining this feature. In the opposite quadrant, if we have a very strong hypothesis and a cheap change, then we're going to want to default to deploy. And then we behave differently in the other two quadrants. But the key thing here is that if you want to go faster, you can just shift that dial. So you can decide to just ship the top right-hand quadrant. Things that you're confident in, that are cheap, just get them out there if you like. You can look in the medium quadrants to shift to just saving yourself a safety net, making sure that you're not deploying things that are strongly negative. And maybe you only look for statistical significance on those really expensive or weak hypothesis changes. Your CFO in this market is going to be looking for efficiency. And that means doing more with the same or doing the same with less. And there's a couple of ways that testing can help with this, especially with SearchPilot in the mix. So if you think about a regular SEO program where you've got a whole bunch of sequence of changes that you want to push out to the website, and then with SearchPilot in place, the SEO team themselves are able to build these out as tests and deploy them one by one through the testing platform. And you're going to discover that some of them are positive, some of them are negative, and some of them are inconclusive. Now, what you can do from there, of course, is that you can avoid deploying the losing changes, right? Cut those out straight away. But of course, you can also avoid bothering your engineering team with the inconclusive changes, the ineffective changes, the ones that are not going to make any difference either, leaving the load on the engineering team as this much smaller green bar, which crucially contains all the wins that the previous effort contained as well. And so that's the same result for less engineering effort. And that's a crucial argument that can win over CFOs at this kind of time. And while we're talking CFO, it's also worth remembering that you're going to be under increasing pressure to be accountable in this kind of market. And this is where I'm super excited about our new dashboard feature, which can show every single individual on-site initiative and the associated confidence level and uplift and incremental improvement associated with those changes. And to be honest, I can't imagine, although I did for many years, I can't imagine running an SEO program without this kind of dashboard now. And my final point is that loss aversion is probably more important now than it ever has been. And that's both avoiding big negative changes that are very costly, but also realizing that small negative changes, often in these purple quadrants, can be very damaging if you're not detecting them in time. So I like to think of this: big drops are immediately career limiting, but small drops are also potentially compounding problems. And I've written about this on the SearchPilot blog, and you can go and read this post on marginal losses if you want to know more about it. But the idea here is that if you don't spot these little -2, -5% changes, which can easily get lost in seasonality, site-wide changes, Google algorithm updates, competitor changes. If you're not testing, then these negative changes are going to compound and they're going to cause you real problems in your business. And as I say, the hidden reason your SEO performance is lagging. So those are the 3 reasons why I think that testing is even more important in a difficult financial market. Realizing that you can go fast with testing, that you can drive the efficiencies that your CFO is looking for, and bonus, have better accountability for the results, and avoid the loss aversion that will take over many businesses at this kind of time. I've got a final bonus point, which is that with Search Pilot in place, beyond the testing, we also have our Meta CMS feature, which enables you to roll out fixes straight away. And this lets you pull some kinds of revenue forward with immediate fixes. This basically looks like going through your website and just turning on those things that have been in the backlog for a long time. So I hope this has made sense and is useful to some of you. If you want more information, you can reach out to me, will.critchlow@searchpilot.com, and head on over to our website at searchpilot.com for more case studies and test results. Take care.